Okay, so let's get started. This is going to be a short video about the thing I just learned today, which is dynamic programming में rod cutting. So I'm gonna explain the problem, then go ahead with the solution and the things that I can improve on. That's it. I will be using my notes all the time because there's something that I just want to learn and I'm not exactly great at it, so why not? I mean, this is just these videos are just for me, so it doesn't matter. I can just keep looking at my notes and stuff. So yeah, um, you have a company, and what your company does is you buy rods of steel, and you buy long rods of steel, and then you sell them at smaller prices. Basically, you sell small parts of those rods at price at whatever at the given price. These prices are fixed; you cannot change them. So now you want to maximize the revenue that you're getting from these smaller rods. How do you go ahead with doing that? So I'm just gonna explain the problem again. Never mind. Okay, it's a bit hard to understand how exactly I have to use this. Mm, yeah. Okay. Ignore. I mean, it's just for me, so doesn't really matter. But ignore. Problem is you have a long bar, size n. You have fixed prices. Price size is I. Pi is the price. So let's say you sell 1 inch of this rod at $5 or 5 rupees, whatever. Then you sell 2 inches at 7, 3 inches of the rod at 11, 4 at 14, 5 at 19, 6 at 23, and 7 at 30. Now your goal is to maximize your profits given this. Um, Rod of size n. And what else? Maximize revenue. How will you go ahead with doing this? That is my problem now. So so now I have to think of the possible approaches and how exactly we can do it. First, you can see this, right? Now, how exactly will you go ahead with solving this problem is my question. There can be a lot of ways. What's the first approach? I mean, you can just do some kind of brute force thing. Try all the possible combinations. So you have, and let's say it's n equals to 4. For n equals to size 4, you can have this possible ways. 1, 1, 1, and 1. 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, right? 1, 1, 2, and 2, comma 2. 1 comma 3, 3 comma 3 comma 1, 4 comma 0. How many solutions can you see over here? These are 8. So possible. So when you do a brute force thing, so now you can just, what you can do is you can go ahead and calculate for everything, and the maximum should be what? 14, 13. It should be 3 and 1. Essentially 16. When you do 40, what you'll get is $14. When you'll do 31, you'll get 15. You'll get $16. When you'll do 22, again oh you'll get 14. But okay, when you do 1111, you get $20. So maximum is 20. This reveals max R equals to 20. But time complexity equals to 2 raised to n minus 1, right? Because these are essentially 8, which is 2 raised to n minus 1. So the time taken is exponential. Now we want to reduce this time, and so now we have to think of approaches that can help me reduce my time. How do I go about doing this? So maybe some kind of divide and conquer might work. I have size n, and what I do is I do n by 2, n equals to n by 2 plus n by 2 to get my optimal solution. O is for optimal. Okay, never mind. I'll just write it properly because O is also in conflict. So let's say solution S of n equals to S of n by 2 plus S of n by 2, because what I'm gonna do is I'll divide my rod into two parts, into two halves, and I'll calculate it, and once I've calculated, I'll just add the revenue. That's it, right? But this one is a bit complicated because I'm gonna make a huge recursion tree, and I want to reduce that. I don't want this recursion tree to be this big. So what instead I'm gonna do is I'll try a different approach. This time what I'm gonna do is I'll do some kind of iteration, and what I'll do is I'll choose a specific rod size that should be taken, and once I've chosen this rod size, I'll go ahead and do and find the revenue of remaining size of rod. That's it. So I'm gonna do a fixed. I'm gonna sell I and do this thing S n minus I. So I'm gonna sell a part of it, which is size I. Then what I'm gonna do is I'll find the maximum revenue that can be generated in size n minus I. So when I go ahead with this solution, I'm gonna try, I'll have an equation that goes something like this. Not equation, but some kind, yeah, it's some kind of equation. So S of n equals to price of I, right? Because I have to calculate the price. Price of I plus S of n minus I, right? So I'll have to do a solution like this, and this is a solution that I'm gonna do over here because this is something that I understood properly. So let's go ahead and do it. How do I go ahead with a problem like this? I'm gonna do the text part now because this is something that should be explained in pseudocode and not anything else. Yeah, not this. I need the size to be normal. Okay, never mind. My bad. Yeah. So how do I write code for this is something that I want to figure out. Let's go ahead, have a look at the previous thing. I don't even know how to select this, sadly. Okay, it's not working, never mind. Or maybe it will work. I'll just take a screenshot and see if that thing works. Seems to me that it works. Yeah, it works. Cool. Now I have this thing. I need to have some kind of a pro solution that looks like this. So let's do def rod cutting size of n and prices because prices is very important. Now I'll have something called a max price -1. Let's say it's just -1. And how exactly can I do it? Wait, I'll try to reduce the size. Not possible. Sad. No, but I need to make sure that I can see it, so I cannot do that. Max price equals to -1, and now what else? I'm looking at my notes, not my code, just to. यार खुद को क्यों बता रहा हूँ? Fuck it, I'm चूतिया. So I have the solution. So I have the optimal thing. This is the optimal solution where you have rod of size n. What you do is you select a particular what is this called? Yeah, particular rod size to sell, and then you just find recursively the price, the price of remaining size. Now, how exactly are you going to choose this I? That is an important question, and that is something I forgot to mention over here. So, how exactly do you choose this I can be anything between 1 and n, right? So, what exactly is it going to be? I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do is I'll just brute force it. As in, I'll go in a for loop from 1 to n, and I'll calculate and I'll see which one is the maximum. So what I'm gonna do is I have max price equals to -1. Now I'm gonna do for I in range 1 comma n plus 1. I wish they allowed me to use tab. It's so annoying. So for I in range 1 comma n plus 1, what I'm gonna do is I'll calculate max price. Max price equals to maximum of max price and this thing, price of I plus rod cutting n minus I comma price, right? So this will give me the maximum price, and I can simply return it. Return max price. Now think about this solution for a bit because this is very important to understand. I have a rod of size n. I run a loop from 1 to n. Then what I do is I will do some kind of recursion over here that gives me the answer, right? Here's something that I'm missing right now. When I'm doing this, there should be a base case, right? Max price is going to be -1, which is not possible, which shouldn't be there. I need it to be price of I at least. So -1 plus price of I plus rod cutting remaining size, the remaining size. So when I do this, n minus I can go to 0 or maybe below 0, right? How am I going to tackle that? So what I'm gonna do is, if n is less than equal to 0, return 0. Now this looks a little better because it takes you don't have to worry about the corner case essentially. So ouch. So here's the solution. And should it work? I guess it should work given everything seems to be correct. So when so it's -1, then what I'm gonna do is I'll add price of I to the rod cutting thing, and whatever price I get, I'll just return it. That's it. So what can go wrong over here? It seems to me that nothing can go wrong because it's in a for loop, and every time this program is run, it will calculate, it will do some kind of calculations, it will call this function recursively, yada yada yada. A lot of stuff is going to happen, and for all the n iterations, which is from 1 to n, it's going to find some price and then find whatever maximum it is and return it, right? Let's try this code on internet. I have REPL. I need to open REPL/Python. Okay, REPL Python 3. Is languages/Python. Never mind. It's not going to be an issue. No, I don't want it to be this. I don't want to create a new repo. Not at all. Never mind. Python 3 runner. This looks good. Cool. Now here's my function. What I'm gonna do is I'll define a few more things over here. And not here, but here. N equals to 5, 4. We in the example we took 4, right? Yeah, n equals to 4. So n equals to 4. Prices equals to, I'll have to go have a look again. 5, 7, 11, 14, 19. 5, 7, 11, 14, 19, right? I'm gonna just print this function. Rod cutting n comma prices. Let's see what happens. Return max price is error. What? Give me a minute, I'll check it out. Maybe this one does not allow me to use recursion. I'm not sure. Python 3 run online again. GDP is the best. I'll go there. Oh, why is it saying return is wrong syntax? Okay, yeah, I'm done. I am super done. There was nothing wrong except this. 28. Okay, this is interesting. 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 28. How is this 28? 4. 14 plus 14. Nice. Oh, my bad. There is also 0. So I have to take care of it. 20. Right. So here it is. Or instead, if I had to calculate it, I can just do I minus 1. But I'd rather keep it this way. So this is the code. It's working. I got 20 as the answer. And from what I remember, my maximum was also 20. Right. So I'm getting the maximum revenue. What should I do? Now, I can clearly see there's a problem. Let's do this thing. I'll have to get prices from somewhere, but the more it increases, it will create a huge recursion tree, and that becomes a problem. So what do I do to get rid of that recursion tree? That's an issue I still have to tackle. And recursion tree will be created from here. Rod cutting n minus I. So I can do memoization. So what I'm going to do is revenue equals to minus 1 times n plus 1, right? Now, if revenue of n, there is something I have to take care of, which is revenue of 0 should be 0, not n. So what I can do is this, it works. So now the first element of revenue array is 0 and everything else is minus 1. So if revenue of n is not is greater than 0, equal to 0, I'll return revenue of n. Now what I'm gonna do is, before this, revenue of n equals to max price. This should solve my problem by a lot. And now what I'm gonna do is I'll just return this. Print revenue of n. Let's see if this is working. Otherwise, we will have a look at the code again. All right. So now I have to define n over here. N equals to 4. Let's define prices over there as well. This makes it easier. Alrighty. Yeah. If revenue and okay, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, it's 20 again. It works. So what I did was, now there's some kind of memorization happening, which will basically reduce a lot of my code. And because of the code being reduced, I am getting this. Not code being reduced, but now my code has to do less number of recursions, and instead it just looks at this array called revenue. Once it looks at it, it just gives the output. That's it. It doesn't even need to do any kind of further recursion because it has already done that work. So I'm gonna save a lot of my computation time just by using memorization over here. So yeah, that's it. Now one more thing that we need to that we can do over here is having a look at what numbers were used, because that can be very helpful to us. So not what numbers were used, but instead what is the solution over here. So remember, my solution looked something like this. Sn equals to price of I plus Sn minus I. So essentially it's gonna be something like this. So let's say for n, okay, n equals to 4, it's gonna be price of some I plus s price plus n minus, no, not n, it's over here, it's gonna be 4 minus I. That's it. So let's see how exactly we can solve this. Let's just solve this one only. Then we'll see how exactly we can solve it. Answer is 20. We know that this, no, not over here. It's over here. Possible solution is this one, 3 comma 1, right? It's actually 1 comma 3 because of the for loop thing, but let's assume it's whatever it is. It's 1. Okay, never mind. I'll just use 1. So possible. So the actual answer is I equals to 1. So P of 1 plus S of 3. And now it does P of 1 is 5. It's actually not P. Yeah, it's gonna do this. Now P of 1 plus S equals to 3. It's gonna do 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus S of 2. Now it's gonna evaluate the maximum, which is plus 5 plus S of 1, which gives me 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals to 20. So this is how my solution, how I'm getting my solution, right? What if I wanted to get that code as my solution? Not get that code, get that number as my solution. So for this, what I'm gonna do is I'll write some extra code over here and see if it works. What I'm gonna do is I'll copy paste this code here, because why not? Let's keep this code here itself. I'm gonna do some memoization on the 6th page. Right. So here is my code. Now what exactly I want to do is ensure that I'm getting my file, I'm getting the price, the P of I thing from here. Because if I have the last one, I can calculate everything else. It's just some number. So what I'm gonna do is, give me a minute. memoized solution. And in the next part, what I'm going to do is I will use this code for my own thing. And that thing is calculating calculating my final answer. So I'm gonna generate an array s equals to 0 times n plus 1 actually. And now over here, what instead of doing this, I will have to get some other variables. Not other variables now. Sorry. Yeah. So now what I will do is instead of using this line, I will have to write something else. So it's gonna be something, and no, I don't have to pass anything. What did I have to do? Yeah, temp equals to this thing. Now, if temp is greater than max price, I will add something. What I'll do is I'll save s of n equals to I, right? This stores the price of I thing. See, I'm just gonna store it in s of n, and I'll do this max price equals to temp, so that I get the max price as well. Now let's try this. Before this, everything, my bad. Yeah, so before this, everything else looks good. What I'm gonna do now is, oh yeah, I don't need this. So I'm getting something in S, right? And I'll print everything over here to ensure everything is working fine. Now I'm gonna do 5. Everything until 5 is easily doable, so I'm just doing it until 5. Now when I'm doing it at 5, what's happening? You can do 1 4 4 1 3 2 2 3 and 5 0, right? So let's do 1, and you can also do 1 1 1 1 1. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 25. 1 2 2, 5 plus 14, not gonna work, 19. 2 3, 2 3 is 5, 2 is 7, 3 is 11, 18, not gonna work. 4 1, 14 plus 1, 19, not gonna work. 5 0, 19, no, it doesn't work. So 1 5 times is working quite well. Now what I'll do now is this: j equals to n, while j is greater than 0, I'll print s of j, and j minus equals to s of j. Let's do this. See, I got my final answer. I got the thing I wanted. So Let's get this in some kind of array. I don't know how to get this in an array. Answer equals to G for, let's see if while works. List comprehension while loop. Does it, is it anything? No. Nope, it's not gonna work. G for n comma -1 comma let's see if this works. Okay, right. Let's do this. Instead of J, I'm gonna do this. Minus S of J. Should this work? Well, it's not gonna work. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna use append over here. Answer equals to this. Now instead of printing it, I'm gonna do answer dot append this thing, and then I'm gonna print my answer. Print answer. Yep, I got my answer. So this is what I wanted to do in this video. This is rod cutting, and here is the solution that actually gives you the solution as well. So this is it. Let me get a little better with this code thing. Yeah, and I'm gonna add another text box that says code that gives solution. Yep, done. So yeah, that's it. I'll do some other video. Right now I have to do a video on web security. I am learning dynamic programming, so I'm going to do videos on dynamic programming. I don't know what else I have to do, but I will be doing a bunch of more videos. I'll be doing a video on how you can spin up an EC2 instance. I'll learn Terraform and then do that. Then I don't know. I still have to do some things, but I don't remember what exactly I have to do. But there are some things. Chalo, bye. Take care.